The ACLU has just published a report about the video surveillance cameras in the city of Chicago. Our report is the result of years of investigation, including through a Freedom of Information Act and reviewing all the information in the public domain. Chicago has, according to a recent Secretary of the U.S. Department of Homeland Security, the most extensive and integrated video surveillance camera system in the country. There are as many as 10,000 video surveillance cameras. In some neighborhoods, they are ubiquitous. You can't walk down any street without being seen by these cameras. In addition to their tight integration and vast numbers, there are very powerful technologies. They can zoom in on the image of a particular person or what they're carrying scores of times more powerfully than the naked human eye. There is a facial recognition system so that they can feed in someone's photograph and find that person across the vast numbers of images captured. There is automatic tracking, so a person who's walking down the street out of the range of one camera is picked up by the next camera. The combination of these numbers of cameras and integration and these powerful new technologies means that every person at all times can be reviewed by the government when they're in the public way. This is a novel development for the people of the city of Chicago. It means that when we walk into bookstores or a doctor's office or a political rally or a movie, we have to wonder whether or not that image is being reviewed by a government official. So in light of all of these very serious technologies, there is great danger. And among the dangers are that people will be chilled from participating in political demonstrations, that they will be chilled from undertaking ordinary innocent activities in public places for fear of who's watching them. The problem is that these technologies are largely unregulated at this time. And so the ACLU is calling upon the city to do three things. Number one, we think there ought to be a moratorium. There should be no new cameras going up until there's time to take a hard look at this. Number two, there ought to be a study that involves all stakeholders of the city to look at what the city's goals are with these cameras, what the costs are, what the benefits are, whether they are effective. And among other things, this study should consider whether or not some of these cameras ought to be removed. Is 10,000 more cameras than we actually need to keep the streets of Chicago safe? And number three, as to every camera that remains up, there ought to be regulations that are not in place now. Among other things, we think these powerful new technologies ought to be put on a leash. A police officer or other city official should not use the zoom function to closely examine a person or what they look like or what they're carrying without reasonable suspicion that there is a crime. They should not be panning towards First Amendment activity, again, without reasonable suspicion. They should not be targeting people on the basis of their race or ethnicity and the like, unless there's a lookout order. The other powerful technologies, the facial recognition and the automatic tracking, they should not be used in the absence of probable cause to think that a crime is being committed or that there's some other danger to public safety. These restraints on the powerful technologies, the zooming and the facial recognition and the automatic tracking, they're in place in other cities, and they are recommended by a Blue Ribbon Commission that included former FBI Director